From institutions intentionally shrouded in secrecy to mysterious sites and locations, there are things we will never know the truth about. But that shouldn't stop us from talking about these topics, because it is in the discussion that may lie the key to unraveling them. In the summer of 1795, a young man named Daniel McGinnis stumbled upon a mysterious depression in the ground on Oak Island, located off the coast of Nova Scotia, Canada. The island, dotted with dense forests and rugged terrain, has long been rumored to hold a hidden treasure. It's a legacy of its history intertwined with tales of pirates and buried riches. McGinnis, along with his friends John Smith and Anthony Vaughan, set out to dig the sinkhole. Soon they encounter a layer of boulders and 3 meters, 10 feet below, a platform of oak logs. This discovery marked the beginning of what would become known as the Oak Island Money Pit. Over the next 2 centuries, the pit became the focus of numerous treasure hunts, attracting adventurers, scientists, and even presidents, all eager to uncover its secrets. In 1804, the Onslow Company undertook the effort to conduct the excavation. They found additional platforms of logs at regular intervals. At a depth of 27 meters, 90 feet, they found a stone with strange symbols. Later in time, it was deciphered by linguistics professor James Lichty, who claimed that the inscription read, 40 feet underground are buried 2 million pounds. This seemed to give enthusiasts a new impetus to the treasure hunt. However, their efforts trigger a series of water traps designed to flood the pit if its integrity is breached, greatly complicating the excavation attempts. Despite these challenges, interest in the money pit never waned. Several attempts were made in the 19th century to drain the pit and bypass its flooding mechanisms. In 1849, the Truro Company attempted to dig new shafts adjacent to the original pit, but was hampered by the incessant flow of water. In 1861, the Oak Island Association's steam-powered pumps failed catastrophically and caused the first death associated with the island's treasure hunt. At the turn of the 20th century, treasure hunting fever was in full swing. Then personalities were drawn to the mystery, such as future U.S. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who participated in an expedition in 1909. Despite modern equipment and renewed enthusiasm, the mysteries of the pit remain unsolvable. To date, the most exciting discoveries include ancient coins, fragments of parchment, and even a mysterious piece of gold chain. These days, the Lagina brothers, Marty and Rick, continue the search, which has been documented in the popular television series The Curse of Oak Island. Their finds include a 500-year-old garnet brooch, a lead cross from the Middle Ages, and other artifacts that hint at a rich history still waiting to be uncovered. As the Lagina brothers go deeper into the money pit, using advanced technology like underground scanning radar and heavy excavation equipment, they face the same challenges that have thwarted previous explorers: water-filled tunnels and collapsed shafts. These water traps, designed by the original builders, flood the shaft when it reaches a certain depth, making excavation extremely difficult and dangerous. Each discovery, whether it is a piece of coconut fiber or a 16th century Spanish coin, is like a clue left to a larger, still hidden cache of treasure. Theories about the contents of the pit are myriad. Some have suggested that it holds pirate booty, others that it is the repository of the Templars' riches, others that the Holy Grail is hidden there. And some have even suggested that it is the repository of lost Shakespeare manuscripts. Over 200 years on, the final chapter of the Oak Island saga has yet to be written. What are these secrets waiting to be revealed? Who buried them and how, so that for over 200 years, despite advances in technology, they still cannot be accessed? The answers to these questions we may never know. From underground, we head to space, where it turns out an even greater and incredible mystery awaits us. Could an artificial satellite more than 13,000 years old orbiting us be spying on us? In the vast expanse of space around our planet orbits a dark and mysterious object known as the alien satellite, the Black Knight. Its story begins for us in the late 19th century with the ingenious inventor Nikola Tesla. In 1899, while working in his laboratory in Colorado Springs, Tesla detected strange radio signals that he believed were messages from extraterrestrial beings. Tesla's claims were largely dismissed by his contemporaries. But these mysterious signals set off a story that would grow over the next century. The Black Knight theme gained popularity in 1927 when Norwegian engineer Jørgen Hals reported long-delayed echoes, LDEs, radio signals that bounce back a few seconds after transmission. These echoes have never been fully explained and are often cited as evidence for the existence of the satellite. By the mid-20th century, the space race was in full swing, and reports of unidentified objects in orbit began to appear, further increasing speculation. In 1960, the U.S. Navy discovered a dark bobbing object in polar orbit, an unusual location for satellites of that era. This object was initially dismissed as space debris by the Discovery satellite. This did not quell public interest, however, and the government later declassified documents that revealed the object was part of a secret reconnaissance mission. The following year, astronomer Jacques Vallée recorded an unidentified object in retrograde orbit, something that was technologically impossible at the time. Shortly thereafter, Vallée's supervisor confiscated and destroyed everything associated with this discovery. In 1973, Scottish author Duncan Lunan analyzed the late delay echo, LDE, and proposed that it originated from a 13,000-year-old extraterrestrial probe orbiting the moon sent from the Epsilon Bootes star system. Although Lunan later abandoned his theory, it has now become part of the Black Knight story. The satellite theme reached its zenith in 1998 during the STS-88 mission, the first space shuttle mission to the International Space Station. Astronauts aboard Endeavour capture images of a mysterious dark object in space. NASA identified the object as a thermal blanket that was accidentally lost during spacewalk, but the images sparked a wave of speculation and conspiracy theories. The images have circulated widely on the internet and have been interpreted by some as definitive proof of the Black Knight's existence. A thermal blanket in space missions is an insulating covering used to protect equipment and astronauts from extreme temperatures. These blankets are usually made of materials such as aluminized captain or mylar and are designed to reflect heat away from the spacecraft or to retain heat within it. It is possible that such debris, when imaged, may appear as an unexplained object. However, we must admit that this would be a huge coincidence. While scientific explanations provide seemingly plausible answers to the observations and signals attributed to the satellite, the Black Knight will probably never be definitively proven or disproven. While some things are too mysterious to understand, others are deliberately shrouded in secrecy and mystery. This is exactly the case with the United States Federal Reserve, which is one of the most powerful financial institutions in the world and is responsible for storing the world's largest gold reserves. Much of it is stored in a heavily guarded vault deep beneath the Federal Reserve Bank of New York in Manhattan. Despite official claims that the gold passes constant accountability and is regularly audited, the mystery that surrounds the reserve's operations gives rise to various conspiracy theories. They suggest that a significant amount of gold is missing or has been secretly moved, prompting continued speculation about the true state of America's gold reserves. It all started with the creation of the Federal Reserve in 1913. Its foundations were laid during a secret meeting on Jekyll Island, Georgia, in 1910. The meeting was attended by prominent bankers and government officials, including Nelson Aldrich and Paul Warburg. They developed a plan to stabilize the American economy by creating a central banking system. The secretive nature of this meeting, disguised as a duck hunt, fueled suspicions even then that something was about to take place, with questionable transparency and unclear motives of those behind it. In the mid-20th century, concerns began to emerge about U.S. gold reserves, particularly those stored at Fort Knox, Kentucky. The fort is believed to hold more than half of the United States gold reserves, approximately 5,050 tons. However, the repository has not been subjected to a comprehensive public audit since the 1950s. This lack of transparency has now led to serious suspicions that the gold may have been secretly exported or replaced with counterfeit bars. In 2011, Congressman Ron Paul, a fierce critic of the Federal Reserve, proposed a full audit of the institution, again drawing attention to the problem. There was no response. In fact, the controversy over the subject reached its peak in 1974, when journalist Tom Valentine claimed that much of the gold at Fort Knox was missing. This claim was backed up by declassified documents showing that significant amounts of American gold had been sold or leased without the public's knowledge. The situation escalated in 2012 when the German Bundesbank demanded the return of its gold stored at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. The slow pace and limited transparency of the repatriation process heightened suspicions that the gold might not really be there. In 2013, the U.S. Treasury Department conducted a partial audit of the Fort Knox gold, inviting several journalists to witness the process. However, this did little to change public opinion as the audit was not comprehensive and did not cover all the reserves. It was only in 2017 that Germany successfully repatriated most of its gold, but the process only reinforced already lingering doubts about the availability and integrity of U.S. gold reserves. The mystery of the missing gold remains unsolved to this day. While there is no hard evidence that it is missing or has been tampered with, the very lack of transparency keeps the issue alive. Calls for a comprehensive audit continue today, but perhaps it is safe to say that we will never know what the true state of the U.S. Federal Reserve is. While there are some things we will never know the truth about, there are others that we are sure we know everything about. But in fact, they did not happen at all as we think. If you don't believe us, then you need to watch our video about events that didn't happen the way you think. Just click the thumbnail on screen now and we'll see there in a second.